What's going on, everybody? This is Clint with the Die Hard MMA podcast. This podcast was filmed exclusively for odds.com. Be sure to click the link below. Check it out. We've got everything that you need over there. We've got you covered for every sport. Thank you so much for the support and good luck on all your action this week. All right. Next up, we got a women's strawweight fight. Polyana Viana taking on Mallory Martin. Matt, I'm going to go ahead and let you head this one off. How do you feel about this matchup?
I'm not sure. This one, just like the Gabe Green fight you were talking about, where you didn't, really know how you felt about that one. I like Rowe a little bit. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. At the end of the day, maybe I was higher on Polyana Vienna than I should have been. And she looked good again in her last fight, but she has. I mean, that Hannah Cyphers loss looks really bad now, and the JJ Aldrich loss as well. Those are two fighters both gone, I believe, from the UFC. Cyphers certainly gone. I do like the fact that she rebounded. She fought in August, so she's been pretty active after a year off. Vienna's been active at least. But I don't know. I feel like I'm having a hard time with Mallory Martin. I don't like her that much. I thought that she was a little overvalued in the market just because she fights for Elevation Fight Team, who gets so much love right now, and deservedly so. The Elevation Fight Team members have been amazing. So I don't really want to bet against anyone from Elevation right now. But I can't lay $1.55 with Mallory Martin. I want to take Polyana Viana in this fight because I feel like the fight's a lot closer to pick'em than the line says. And I think most of the early betting action has also coincided with that. This is a fight that opened Martin 170, and I'm seeing some places here in Vegas that are as low as $1.45 right now. So I think most people agreed with me that the line opened too wide. But now I wonder if 145, like it's gotten to where maybe it's supposed to be, and I missed the boat on the really good numbers.
I kind of feel you there. Oh, shit. The legend himself, Gas Station Sushi in the chat. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. You know what? I felt like pre-tape. Now, you guys all know I got to do my research. I got to do my tape study. I got to dig into the numbers and get all the statistics I can find. And I was itching to pull the trigger on Polyana Viana. As soon as I saw this open up, as soon as I saw the line, I was like, oh, I know I'm betting Polyana Viana. And then I did my study. And the more I see it, the more I want to just sit back and let that cash roll in and then fade the public here, Matt. Polyana Viana, she had a bit of a rough run in the UFC. She came into some relatively tough competition, especially for a young fighter, went 0-3. They must have seen something that they liked in her because they gave her a fourth shot, let her come back and try again. And she finally got that win her last time out. The biggest thing about her is that she's got to use her ground game. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. She's very skilled on the ground. She does have nice movement on the feet, and she knows how to fight long. She's got a front kick that she uses to kind of keep the distance, keep the range. She's huge for the division, but she always accepts the bottom position. Yeah. She is more than willing when the distance get close. She's exactly one of these fighters I talked about before that just flops to her back. Now, you mentioned Mallory Martin coming out of Elevation Fight Team. I love Elevation Fight Team. I am guilty of, puffing up Elevation Fight Team all I possibly can. She's one of these hard-nosed grinder wrestlers. She punches her way inside to close the distance. Really strong in the clinch, good body lock, good takedowns, knees from that position, nasty guillotine choke herself, but she's got really solid submission defense and a good get-up game. And when she's the one on top, she's got a really strong top game. And when I looked back at her fights, even though I don't remember being overly impressed with her, her only two UFC fights were Hannah Cyphers and Verna Jandiroba. I forgot. Now, in Verna's last fight against Mackenzie Dern, I was all over her. I am more than impressed with Verna Jandiroba, and watching the Mallory Martin fight with her, that was a very competitive fight. Mallory Martin survived those scrambles. She survived all the defense, all the submission attempts. She was able to get her wrestling going a couple times. She was just too small, and Verna was a better wrestler, and that led to her getting tired, and she ended up getting choked out by a high-level black belt in Verna. There's no shame in that loss in her UFC debut. Talk about jumping into the deep end both feet. That was her first fight in the UFC. Then she got brought in against Hannah Cyphers and choked her out. I mean, she has shown us already that she belongs here, in my opinion. And then when I went back and I watched Polyana, she got her arm snapped off by Veronica Macedo, who I personally like Veronica Macedo, but she's a weight class she's one of these women who doesn't have a home. She belongs at 115, but we only have 125 in the UFC. Or I'm sorry, 105. She belongs at 105, and we only have 115. She's too small, and she was able to out-scramble Polyana Viana and snap her arm off immediately. And in that Hannah Cyphers fight, she lost a split. Maybe she should have got the nod there, but she got hurt a couple different times. And the same thing in the JJ Aldrich fight. I'm just not sold on Polyana Viana. I don't know that she's necessarily a thing. And I think Mallory Martin, she talked about she's been plagued with some injuries and stuff like that, and she's healthy for the first time in her UFC career coming into this fight. I think she's just going to be too much. I think she'll get in on those hips. I think she'll body lock her to the floor. And this is women's MMA, folks. That arm bar from guard is always a possibility. But I see Mallory Martin grinding Viana out, or maybe even getting a late finish herself, just because she's got the skill set to do so. And I don't know that Viana's got much of an answer for it. So I don't really want to lay chalk with Polyana or with Mallory Martin. So from a betting perspective, I'm probably going to pass on this one. But if I had to make a bet, I'd have to side with the favorite.
What about Mallory Martin by decision? Maybe we could turn that minus 150 into an even money or plus money situation, because I don't see how Polyana wins a decision here. Actually,
that's a very good point. If as far as win conditions go, she doesn't have much of a path. Yeah, it's plus 115. So
yeah, maybe that's the right way to bet this fight, because I certainly agree with you that it feels like she's probably going to grind her out, and it feels like if someone's going to get a surprise finish, it's Polyana, who is really long. So when somebody's that long, she could land a front kick or a head kick from distance. I know it seems unfathomable to people that have watched her fight, but she certainly has the ability. And if someone's going to throw up an armbar or something from the bottom, it's Polyana. So she's probably the one that's going to get a finish. Mallory Martin's going to be the grinder here. I feel like if you like the favorite, why not take a small plus by decision?
Yeah, maybe not a bad way to take a look at it. I mean, again, this is one that I would just suggest passing on.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm going to end up betting it. I mean, if the line should completely flip, I will feel like the wrong person is favored, and just from a keeping the bookies honest standpoint, I may have to bet Mallory Martin as an underdog on principle, but I don't know that it's absolutely going to get there. And again, women's MMA, you just don't know. You just never know. So if Polyana Viana has made some improvements, she's 28 years old, there's always that chance she could come and be a much, much better fighter than we're expecting her to be. Too many questions. I'm out. I'm not touching this one. All right. Next up, we have got what I believe we're getting close already to the end of the preliminary card here.